Hello, everybody. My name's CatAttack123, and I'm joined by
This is Mark.
And Mr. Jensen.
And we are from PixelJudge.com, and welcome to episode 4. And there was
Yay, we're still here.
a lot of PC stuff, mostly Steam. It just ended today, actually. Today's the Fallout day of where
God, I gotta get my bunker.
our bank accounts are drained, and
Our souls just feel emptied.
That more like that.
Gabe is swimming in money naked with Half-Life 3 copies of it. He's in his glory right now. But we're gonna talk about the Steam Summer Sale. If you guys don't know what that is, well, I don't know why you're listening.
You're in the wrong place. Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about that and some other things like what we bought in the sale and like what we've been playing from the sale, as well as we're going to talk about the Steam cards and a couple other things. So we're going to jump right into it right now. All right. So let's start with you, Merc.
Yes.
What did you buy during the summer sale?
I have so many games. Well, I don't have all of them off of there, but most of the games I would have wanted, I already have. So it was kind of like a lot of the newer games I was waiting for. And the ones I bought were, I have the new Tomb Raider game, the new Devil May Cry, and then I finally bought Dark Souls Prepare to Die. And I played the first one on the PS3. So I really wanted it. But then I heard of all the issues it has on the computer, so I'm like, I don't know if I want to do it. And then it was low enough, I said, whatever. It was like 75% off, so it's like, it's basically free. Might as well just buy it. So I bought it, and I got
everyone's mentality.
Yeah, I bought it and put that, it's a DS fix for the resolution and stuff like that. You can tweak some other stuff, and actually it works perfect. It doesn't have any issues. I haven't had any problems, so I was really happy with that. And I know a lot of people don't want to use a controller for it. I would rather use a controller for that kind of game, so I don't really have a problem with that. But actually, it's kind of funny. That's what I've ended up playing the most out of the 3 games that I bought. I like the other 2 a lot. I'm going to play those too. But man, I just love that game for some reason, and I can't wait for Dark Souls 2. It's just crazy. If you haven't played it before, have you either of you played it yet?
I did,
ever?
and I broke a controller.
Yeah, it can be that way.
Yeah, I played it on the PC. What do they call it? The
Prepare to
PC.
Die edition.
Yeah, Prepare to Die.
And you die a lot.
I mean, that's what
I kept saying to the developers as I was playing it, because I first of all, it's not just it's a terrible port. It's probably the worst port I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
It's like they didn't have the internet. Like they couldn't search up and find
I don't even think just
what is
that.
necessary.
Like, so
what is 1080p?
And what do we need for PC games?
Yeah, the surprising thing to me wasn't even just the resolution. It had to have been this way on the consoles, but like the menu system is horrible. Yeah. It's really bad. Like, I don't understand. I'm willing to overlook that stuff because underneath all that, and the first time I ever played the previous one, it is one of those games that you're just like, what in the hell? I just keep dying over and over and over and over. I cannot get past this part, but it has this, like, I've finally learned that, like, in this one, when I start coming up against a roadblock, like, if I'm dying a lot or if I'm not doing damage to enemies, like, I need to farm up and, like, start leveling up my guy. It's the only way you can get forward, and it's rewarding in a way that, and it still takes skill. Like, you got to be able to dodge and stuff like that, like block, depending on who your character is, what kind he is. But I agree that, like, man, the next one, they need to do a better job on the consoles and on the computer, because if the menu system's bad, no matter how you look at it from a PC perspective, or even on a console, it's just really clunky and awkward. Like, I don't know. You just have to go through so much crap to get to what you're looking for.
Well, about the PC version, one thing I can't understand is the mentality of the developers. They don't even feel ashamed of their work. Like their game is getting a lot of hate on the PC for. I mean, it's not even getting enough hate if you ask me. But it's like it just I don't understand how when this because they said it's impossible to do it with how the game is made and stuff. And then there's a modder who comes, I did it.
And I fixed it the same day.
Yeah, and they didn't say, "Oh crap, okay, we're gonna we're gonna make a patch where it's fixed now." No, they don't do any of that. There was no patches. They didn't even try. So it just I am a very principled person, I just feel like I would cheat myself, or I would sort of lose a part of my dignity if I kept playing the game, because it not only is like Saints Row 2, it was a terrible port as well, but I played it, and actually I really enjoyed it, and I could see past the bugs, and I can see past bugs to a certain extent, but it was just I felt the way the developers sort of treated this, because the game came because of the community wanted it, because of the whole
they signed the petition.
Yeah, the petition and everything. So it was like I don't understand.
It was forced, kind of.
But it felt like, wow, the people really want it. Well, we're gonna listen to the people, and it's like they didn't listen to it. They just saw a bunch of numbers, and it's like we're just gonna make a quick buck here. And
I think at least it seems like they might have listened now, though, because I mean, the next one's coming out day, and like that's gonna be on the computer at least. So maybe they were like, holy shit, like there is like a market here. We should pay attention to this. And
I was reading actually some NPD numbers that came out recently. On N4G, they had an article that I was reading about the percentage of people, and the percentage of PC gamers at the moment, basically it was 20% for PS3, 20%, 25 or something percent for Xbox, and then 21% for PC.
Yeah, so you gotta.
There's a huge market.
Yeah, and I think they understood that this time, and the new game I think looks really good. The thing about that game, the very first game that came out, it was kind of one of those. It was one of those games that came out and everybody's like, "What is this?" Like, it just seems so awkward and strange. Like this game that I mean, there'd been those roguelike games before, but not quite like that, I guess. And it's really weird, like atmosphere that the game creates. That even this Dark Souls on the computer, even it has a strange feel about the whole world that it's in. And it's just really unique in that way, and I hope they just keep making it better. But I don't want to spend too much time on that one. I bought Tomb Raider, the new Tomb Raider. I couldn't have cared less probably when they first said they were making a new Tomb Raider.
Really?
Nope. I mean, I liked the first two, but then they just kind of kept going on and on. So I just automatically ignored it. But then over this period of time, I've heard people saying, this game's pretty good, and then keep hearing this game's really good. This game's way better than I thought. So I'm like, yep, I'm gonna buy it. So I bought it, and I think since my expectations were low, it has actually kind of blown my mind at how good it is. It looks really good. It's fun to play. It's not bad at all. So I would recommend it if you know that. Hey, I think it's a little more serious of a story this time around, and it's a good game. Then I bought Devil May Cry, the new one. Also, it's kind of in the same boat. I like the first one, not the second one, and then I like the third one, and just kind of ignored most anything else to do with it. Haven't cared. It's a great looking game. It plays awesome. Like the combat in it is some of the best of that kind of game I've played in a long time. The boss battles are great. It's made by what is their name? I can't think of it. They made more console game. I think this might be their first game to come out on PC, but they came out with
And it
a
wasn't
game
such a bad port either, was it?
No, it runs. I mean, it runs on Unreal Engine 3. I mean, I have 2 video cards and SLI, and you wouldn't even need that. Like, it looks.
Ninja Theory?
It's very. Yeah, Ninja Theory, that's right. So they made Enslaved and Heavenly Sword on the console on PS3. But if you'll see in this game, they do a really good job with storytelling, is what I've always was impressed, in really conveying emotion on their characters' faces. They do a really good job at that. But other than that, like, so it's not like a technically crazy looking game. I don't know, like if you think of some like Battlefield or Crisis or something, like it's not going to make your Metro Last Light, it's not going to make your system cry, but stylistically,
System May Cry.
yes, exactly. Yeah. It looks stylistically just awesome. Like you go from like the real world, right? And it's really campy if you ever played the Devil May Cry games before, which is part of the charm of it.
I played the second or third one, and that's like I didn't even finish it, but that's about all my experience with
It's
the
got it's got a badass soundtrack.
Oh, dude, when you are in combat, it's just like, I'm just gripping my controller, just juggling guys. You switch back and forth. It's really complex. Like, I can't see using a mouse and keyboard for it, quite honestly, but that's fine. I mean, games like that, I'd rather use a controller.
I would
But
agree.
Yeah, it's the same with fighting games too, like
Yeah,
Mortal
exactly.
Kombat and stuff. It
Yeah.
just doesn't feel
Yep.
the same with a keyboard.
No. So you plug an Xbox 360 controller in there, and this game, it's really complex. Like, they got you juggling 5 or 6 different kinds of things you can do at one time. Like, and it's really difficult at first, but then you get used to it. But it goes from the real world into this. What do they call it? It's kind of an alternate reality, and the way it transitions each time, it just looks really, really, really good. And I think it's if you like kind of a character action game, combo heavy kind of stuff, you could not do any better than that.
It's got
and
explosions.
man, it is. I just played a little bit of it, and then I'm gonna kind of stop playing it and start over because I have so many games to play. I've also been playing Dota 2. That goes without saying.
I guess
So.
I'll go onto what I bought. I had an addiction. I'm coming clean. I bought a lot of Steam cards. I got my paycheck, and I went to the GameStop and I got it
That cards.
$120 worth of cards. And I came back and I'm like, I'm gonna spend wisely this year, because last year or 2 years ago was my first. No, actually a year ago was my first sale, and I spent a little bit too much on games I didn't play.
Yep.
And so I made a rule: if it's 75% or lower, buy it. Or if it's like a new game and it's 50% or lower, buy it.
Yeah.
Something like that. But anyways, I bought the Swapper, which surprised me actually a lot. I got the new Metro Last Light DLC.
I didn't even know there was any. Oh yeah. Is that
It just released a few days ago.
In the first
faction
level,
pack.
I tried
We can
to
talk about
play,
that.
and I tried to record it for my YouTube, and my graphics card was on fire.
Well, that's not your
Go
fault
for it.
though. That seems like the game's or not the game's fault, because I finished the game and great performance all the way through
Oh yeah, same here.
on high settings, but the DLC, and I googled it, and a lot of people are having horrible. Sometimes it just completely stops up, and the whole thing is just like you have literally maybe. It's not even frames per second; it's second per frame. It's like 3 seconds per frame, and then you just have to sit there for like a minute and just wait, and then suddenly it'll work fine again. That's how it was for me
Yeah,
anyway.
it
And
was,
I read a lot of people.
It was the first battle in the Metro where there's like 60 guys coming out of the ceilings, and there's explosions everywhere.
Oh, the Reich
Yeah,
mission?
you got the minigun, and I was like, oh, look, I'm running at 120 frames per second. Oh, wait, I'm running at 10. Oh, I'm running at 3. Oh, my game crashed.
Wow.
And I have a GTX 680, so this shouldn't happen.
Yeah. No, you should. Yeah, you should be good.
And so I
That's-
switched it to 720p, and I put it on low, and I still crashed.
Because it's having a lot of what What's the graphics card you have?
A GTX 680. The one higher than that's the Titan.
Okay, yeah,
and the 690.
because my brother has the 770, and
Yeah.
yeah, and the 700 series is supposed to have a lot of problems with Metro in general, with the actual game too, because the driver has some issues and something
Well,
with
those are
physics
new.
or something.
Yeah, the 770s in the area of like, I don't know, a 650 or 670 range. It's just because it's got a bigger number doesn't mean it's more powerful.
Yeah,
The
I,
Ti-
well,
No,
that's-
of course not.
I've-
the
I've-
Titan is still the ultimate beast. Which
I'm
is,
just gonna wait.
But I don't have $1,000 to throw into my computer.
Nah, it's
I already threw.
You don't need it.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
there's
You
no
don't
game
need
that will ever require
Nope.
it in the next 5 years. I don't
Like,
believe.
I'm running at the 2560 by 1440.
Your PC is likely better than both the new PlayStation 4
Yeah.
and Xbox
Oh,
One
jeez.
combined anyway. So
And I got
yeah.
670s, and I can run pretty much any. I mean, you might have to turn down one or two
Uh,
things, but yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, I got the Metro Last Light DLC. I got Civilization 5 for the first time because my friend talked me into it. He's like, "Come on, man, you're gonna love it." I'm like, "Whatever." I hate.
what did you think about it?
I hate turn-based strategy games. I sat down. I played it for 20 hours,
Yeah, that's,
and we played 2 games.
yeah.
20
multiplayer?
hours for 2 games. It was ridiculous. And I was like, wow, did I really just do that? Because I'm just like, oh, one more turn. One
Yep.
more turn.
Yeah, that's Firaxis. That's what they know how to do.
I can do. I'll do another turn, man. I'll get to the next civilization, and then I gotta stop. Come on. And then I get to the industrial age, and I'm like, I gotta stop. And then we finished and beat the game, and I was like, yes, we won. And he's like, want to play another one? And I looked over, and I started at like 3 in the afternoon. It was like already 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. But
Yeah.
to add to my cocaine addiction, I got Sins of a Solar Empire
Oh,
Rebellion.
how's that? I almost bought that because I never played
And
it.
I played 29 hours, and I've only beaten 1 game
Man,
because I had to conquer.
kind of glad I didn't buy that
I had
then.
to conquer 125 planets. Not only do you have to build defenses around those planets, you have to manage the income and resources produced by those planets. You have to manage the trade market, as well as maintain balance in your battleships. For example, like, there's an upkeep fee, and you have to balance your upkeep fee. For example, if you want lesser weapons on one of your main guns, you can reduce that to reduce your fees. So you have to individually take your ships and modify them to your budget. So you're sitting there for hours looking at text
Which
and just like
one did you? So, which one did you buy?
Sins of Solar Empire Rebellion.
Okay.
I didn't
'Cause
buy
I've,
Eve.
Yeah. Well, I was just there's other
Um,
ones that I didn't really know which one to get, but I didn't get one.
I don't know.
Well-
My friend, well, actually, Simon got me into it, and
Cool.
he's like, we can do a 4-pack. I was like, fine, I'll buy it. So I had everybody send me money on PayPal, and then I bought it for everybody. And they haven't played it yet, but I've played it, and I'm 26 hours in.
I
and
might. You might have convinced me to get it at some point, even though it's not on sale anymore.
it's,
Someday.
It's really good. It's just a lot of time
Yeah.
that you're gonna have to sit down for at least 4 to 6 hours to play a match.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up the Borderlands 2 game pack or whatever, the
Cool.
season pass.
I
Yeah.
like that game.
And I got Joint Operations, Combined Ops.
Ha! High five! Nice.
I got
Me
it
too.
because I was like, it looks like Battlefield, except
Oh, you haven't played it?
I played it for a few minutes, and I couldn't figure out how to turn the settings all the way up high because it was.
Well, I don't know
stuck
if
at
that's
medium.
even possible. I haven't. Oh, I haven't. I haven't played it now, but I played it back in the day, back when it was sort of Nova Logic's sort of Battlefield killer. I think it was released sometime around Battlefield 2. And the reason I bought it now is because I want to co-op it with some friends, because I remember the co-op used to be pretty awesome. You have these real missions where you can fly helicopters and drive cars and boats and stuff like that, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
but,
pretty cool. It's definitely dated, but in a good way. It
Yeah,
doesn't look
I
never played
bad
it.
in any way. But
Yeah, I haven't picked it up yet, but I think because it is relatively simplistic, but it's not like some games, like certain like Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and the Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter games. They're sort of in that period where they try to experiment with some like bloom and stuff like that, and it just ends up looking horrible today. There's certain games that just age horribly and you
Yeah.
can barely play them. But then there are games that are like retro games, like old Nintendo games or
They
PC
still look
games from
good.
the 90s. Yeah, not only do they look good, but they play good, and there's just it just works. But there's certain games that just don't work very well, that don't age well.
Mm.
So if you say it
Yeah.
aged well, then I'm happy, because it's kind of important.
And then I picked up Postal 2. It was on sale for a flash sale for $1.50. And I
Yeah.
enjoy it for pissing on people's bodies, cutting their heads off with chainsaws, and then setting them on fire. So
Or
it's pretty
cutting
fun.
their heads off with a shovel and using the shovel as a not the shovel, but the head as a football, or
Yeah.
just kicking around, or
Wow.
using the cheats to get a rotten cow's head, so you throw it on people so that they puke blood. Yeah, it's pretty
like- it's like-
correct.
They
Yes, it
have
sounds like it.
they have the stereotypical. There's it's no spoiler, but you fight Al Qaeda in it.
Yeah.
And there's the very all they do is scream Allah Wakbak and for
Yeah.
Allah
God.
and shoot AKs up in the air. And then there was this Easter egg where you're in a library
ridiculous.
and it's set on fire because there's this extremist group apparently that hates books. And so they set this library on fire. And I got into this one part of the library, and there was a terrorist in there, and he was reading a book. And I killed him because he started shooting at me. And then I looked over at his dead body, and right next to it was How to Build Bombs 101. I was like, wow, that's so politically correct. I'm surprised more people aren't talking about this.
Well, they did
Now they
a few
will.
years ago. It was kind of a, like
I think I
inside
remember
joke.
that too. Yeah.
Because I played it years ago, and I remember because it had some serious issues. Like the load times were atrocious, and you had to load all the time when you were walking
Oh,
between
yeah, yeah,
regions. And each mission was basically you had to walk to the other side of the entire game world to do something mundane, like a fetch quest. Like the one quest or not quest, but mission, whatever, where you're the terrorists in the store, the convenience store. You're supposed to pick up milk, and there's some Muslims or something working in the convenience store, and suddenly they arrange this whole attack or something, and they charge out and they start shooting everybody.
Yep.
And it's fun like that, but the problem is there's too much grinding and walking.
It's really boring.
Loading.
If you just want to... It's like a game you play for like 20 minutes, and then you're like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
And it's too bad, because if they cut away some of that grind, it would be kind of... It's just silly fun, of course. It's not like a...
It's like Duke Nukem,
very-
but more
but-
not politically correct.
Yeah, but there's some fun things, like, for example, because the guy you are, the Postal dude, he works for a game developer called Running with Scissors, which is the developer of Postal 2. And you walk to their office because you're supposed to pick up the paycheck, which is another mission, another fetch quest. They're all fetch quests, so that's another one. But while you're there, there's some anti-violent games protesters outside with like posters and everything. And you walk in to get your paycheck, and when you walk in, you get this cutscene that you see them like, oh, they're not paying attention. Okay, load your weapons, and they run in. These anti-violent games protesters
And then they start shooting
take up
at
real
you.
guns, and they run in to try to kill the developer. It's kind of this funny tongue well placed in cheek humor,
Yeah, that
but it's kind of
sounds
ruined by the
great.
bad gameplay design. So
Yeah, I just played it just for some shits and giggles occasionally. But I'm surprised how good that game actually looks if you play it on max. It looks pretty decent.
Yep. I mean, all Unreal 2 engine games really look pretty good still. I mean, Red Orchestra 1 still looks pretty good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, because they're relatively clean, it's not cluttered with overuse of bloom or motion blur or anything like that. It's simple, and the textures are still relatively sharp, so it works pretty well, those games still,
But
to this day.
Cool.
yeah, the last thing I bought for the Steam summer sale that I personally bought was Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy for $1.50.
Nice.
Because when I was a kid, on my very first computer, I got the very first Star Wars Jedi Knight game, and I loved it, and it was my childhood for a while. And then there was all these mods. There's a huge modding community for Jedi Knight Jedi Academy right now. Because I got on, I was like, no, there's nobody playing this game, whatever. And I get on, and there's like 70 or 80 people on.
Yeah,
all
Jedi
times.
Outcast too.
They have this new mod called Movie Battles, which replace basically the most popular one is Duel of Fates from Star Wars Episode 1. So basically you pick your character and you can customize it in the fact that it's like skill points, and you put your skill points into, like, what if your clone trooper wants a concussion grenade, for example? You can buy it. It's got a level of RPG to it, and you rank up, and it's really cool. It's definitely a whole new aspect, but it's totally redesigned textures, redesigned sound. You can play as Darth Maul, you could play as Anakin and like Obi-Wan, and then you could play as Commander Cody, for example, and then you could
You play as Admiral Akbar and just walk around saying it's a trap all the time.
maybe in the next expansion.
It's a trap.
That'll be the next one.
They're talking about making another
There
one.
should be an
because-
Admiral Akbar game, actually. You should be able to be Admiral Akbar in the Star Wars Battlefront game that DICE are making.
I don't know if you guys know this, but over Comic-Con, you guys know who Mythbusters is, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Adam Savage, he cosplayed as Admiral Akbar at Comic-Con this year.
Okay.
Nice.
Was it sort of like a publicity thing, or
No, he just did it
He
because
just-
he cosplays every year.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
yeah.
He built it himself. He sculpted it himself and did the whole. It looks really cool, but
Yeah, he probably does a good job at it too.
oh yeah, well, I hope he does. He's a special effects artist, but
Yeah.
You better.
yeah. But Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, I played 6 hours of it so far because just multiplayer nostalgia. It's just so much fun. And before, actually, hold on. Last thing, with the new mod, you can actually put it on HD, because the actual base game, the resolution was terrible. But now you can enter your own custom aspect ratio. So
Yeah, it's kind of important.
yeah, so I just put it to 1080, and it looks really good. It can
The icons are stretched, aren't they? Like
a little bit. But it still looks good in the fact because all the texture work's redesigned.
Yeah.
So it's basically it looks as good as it can get, basically, for a 2003 game. But it was fun to play. But yeah, that's all I bought. What did you get, Jensen?
This year I sort of I actually had, because usually I just buy a bunch of games. I don't need any games because I buy them all before, like
The sale
the
anyway.
games I want.
Yeah.
I buy them. Yes, somehow either I buy them through Steam or some other store like Green Man Gaming, if I know it has a Steam code anyway. But this year I really felt like there were a lot of games that I wanted to buy, especially indie games. So I bought Monaco, the sort of really weird overhead heist game almost.
Yeah,
I haven't played
got
it
that
yet,
as well.
but it
I
looks
did a
really
feel
weird
for
and
it.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's I feel like any kind of stealth game, probably it's a unique take on that.
Yeah, and I
stuff.
just love how it has co-op ability
Yeah, it's
implanted in there. So that looks pretty cool. And I also bought Reyes, or I don't know how to. Ruse. Okay.
I think it's Rus. Maybe not.
Yeah. Again, I haven't played that one either. Because in the past few weeks I've been kind of busy. I've been visiting my parents, and
Mhm.
my childhood friends have been. We've all sort of gone back to our hometown like we do every summer and Easter and Christmas, and we've been playing board games and just hanging out and being together basically.
Mhm.
Because we all live in different parts of the country, so I haven't really had time to play a lot. But Rus and Monaco and Eodor, something like that, Masters of the Broken World. Those are games I really wanted to buy, and I also bought Retro City Rampage, the Swapper, Oregon Trail. I didn't even know what the hell that game was all about, but I just read
you
on
guys have-
forums.
I played
Did you
it.
guys
in the
have
first-
Oregon Trail?
No,
back
I
in the
never
day?
played it.
I-
Was it a Commodore game or what?
I had
It
it
was
on my
old
computer
school.
in
Yeah.
kindergarten.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's all I remember from it. Like everybody I talked to, like in the United States here, that's what it's. You played it in school.
Didn't I ever tell you the story of the division between the girls and females when we played Oregon Trail? Ow. And I banged my knee. Nice. But anyways, basically, I don't know if I already told you guys, just let me know.
I don't think
but
so.
basically we would sit down and during lunch we would have like a half hour and all the guys were like, dude, let's play Oregon Trail, and like everyone's playing Yu-Gi-Oh and like Pokemon, and we're playing Oregon Trail, and like we had the girls like around us watching us, and we were like, it was like second grade, and basically I don't remember. I think it was Windows 95. I wasn't sure.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
It probably was. So
Yeah.
it was really old, and I totally I wouldn't say nostalgia, but looking back, it was a pretty fun memory. But anyways, when we would go on trips to buy our items to go on the trail, all the guys were like, "Let's buy guns and ammo and bullets and powder, and we need all the guns we have." So we get like 14 rifles, and all the girls are like, "Well, don't you need food?" And we're like, "No, we could just kill things," because we were typical guys
Yeah,
at that point, and so we died halfway.
just kill stuff.
Yeah,
Manly
That was a
mound.
difficult
we
game.
died like
You died of dysentery. Oh,
somebody
well, so-
got stuck in a quicksand pit, and like everybody else died of starvation, and then
So what the hell is the new one?
I
I have
don't
no
know.
idea.
But
So it is basically the same game, right? It's
I
just that
have no
it's sort
idea.
of rethemed. Because I play
I
the
heard
the
it's
new-
just ridiculous.
yeah, it's like you ride around in this sort of 80s, 70s, this stereotypical station wagon with your crew, and you might find new people, and some might die, and it's the zombie invasion apocalypse thing going on, and you have to stop places and buy things and search and do certain missions where you have to do a shootout and or pick up something, and basically trying to make it from the East Coast to the West Coast, because on the West Coast there's this sort of safe house type safe haven, I guess they
Mhm.
call it. And I played that, and it was fun. But it has sort of some of the same problems I have with FTL, is that sometimes it just comes down to random chance. Like it says there's a sentence like, you see a man in the edge of the road or something like that, and it's like, okay, do you stop or do you continue? And it's like, if you continue, then you don't get the reward, and if you stop, there's a 50% chance that he will kill one of you guys, and or he will maybe join you, or and it's the same with FTL. Some of the creatures, you
Yeah.
can try to communicate with them, but they might kill you, and stuff like that. And sometimes it feels like I should have been able to, like, if I had something here, I would be able to affect the outcome. And in FTL, there's sometimes when you have that, if you have sort of an NG, then there might be a certain situation where you might use them and stuff. But it just, sometimes it's a little annoying to, like, oh, I die now just because the game decided that. But it's a quick game anyway, so you just play it and you die and you try again and you do something different, and it was fun. It was almost, I don't even think I paid €1 for it. I think it might have been
Wow.
less than €1. It was pretty cheap. So I bought that, and I bought the Swapper. I played it, but only a little bit, and so far I really like it. And I didn't know it was claymation. That's pretty cool too. But I really like I just thought the graphics looked really realistic, but now I understand.
That's pretty cool. I've been interested in that game as well.
Yeah, and it's funny because pretty much all those games I bought them because I read the reviews on Pixel Judge. Like Kel did some of those reviews. He's a indie freak of us, so he did a lot of them, and I just a lot of them seemed interesting. And I've been playing the Eidor, whatever, Masters of the Broken World, which best can be described as the only true spiritual sequel to Heroes 3 I've ever found. And I've looked around a lot. Like the Heroes, the other Heroes games, and King's Bounty or something. I tried all those, and I just couldn't find the right true sequel. And I feel Eidor is that, and I thoroughly enjoy it.
Cool. Yeah, I think I saw that. That was on sale as well, right?
Yeah, I bought it when it was on sale, and I just there's things that I just loved about Heroes 3 that I don't see a lot in those types of games anymore. Like when you build your city up, you can kind of see in the background that the city is gradually shaping as you build new buildings and stuff like that, and I just love that. It's not a perfect game. It's definitely low budget with the animations, and it's not like Torchlight 2 where you see your hero outfitted with unique stuff all the time. But it's a cool game. Oh, and I bought. Have you guys played Spec Ops: The Line? Because I bought it now.
I did. I played it,
but I haven't.
I never did.
Yeah, I tried the demo before it came out, or at the same time or something, and I was like, what is going on here? This is a mediocre third-person shooter. But then I started hearing about the gameplay is pretty mediocre, but
it gets
the story
really messed up.
Yeah, and that's why I bought it now, because I paid like €5 for it, so I was like, why not? So I'm going to play it someday and just see where the story goes, because that's pretty cool. As long as the gameplay isn't bad or drags out too long, it's not a problem that it's mediocre. I can stand that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one game I bought.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the new DLC for Metro came out, so that's
got that as
also
well.
Something
Yeah, the other thing, it's not. Well, it kind of came out at the same time, but I've already mentioned Dota 2, but if you haven't played that, everybody, it's free. You should try it.
Yeah, I'm guilty there. I haven't played it.
Well, it's literally free. You never have to pay a dime.
I haven't played League of Legends either. I've never even gotten into that whole MOBA scene. I tried the original Dota for Warcraft 3 back in the day, but it was kind of cool. I loved it back then because I always felt like Warcraft 3, how it experimented a little bit with some RPG elements, and I felt there should have been more to this. And then Dota came out, and I was like, for whatever reason, I just didn't get into it. And I still haven't. I don't know why.
I mention it because as it's officially out now. Like before, you could get in relatively easily, but you couldn't just download it. You had to get a key.
I have approximately 50 beta keys, I think.
Yeah. Well, now they're all gone.
Oh yeah, probably.
They've taken them all away now, but it's out now. And during the Steam sale, you could get some items. It was kind of a sale of their own if you wanted. They have so the game is completely free. Like you get every character for free, and then of course there's only the one arena type map to play in. But you can buy sets, like outfits for your guy and all kinds of different stuff. So stuff like that was on sale over the Steam summer sale, and I bought some stuff for that. But yeah, it's a free game. You should. The best advice I can give you is don't expect to do great right away. It takes months to learn it, and I've put about 215 hours into the game, and I'm still learning, which is why I like it. But
play Sniper Noob
yeah,
in Drow, and that's basically all I'm good at. Oh, it's Skeleton King,
yeah.
and yeah,
It's
that's
got
it.
I feel bad. I mean, I understand. It's just real difficult. They haven't put and so with the release of it, they have a better tutorial in the game now. So I would recommend trying that. It makes a big difference playing with people that you know, and I mean, you just got to be patient with yourself if you play it and look up videos. You got to learn. Like you have to learn how to play it. It's all there is.
But
to
it isn't
That's
like Call of
excitement.
Duty, and I can't just pick it up and instantly be professional. I don't like that.
When you
Well,
do,
there's a dark side to that though, because it's like you have these. Like, it's good. It's definitely good for the game because it means it's a deep game. It has a lot of replayability to it, which kind of justifies the free-to-play model because it's like, okay, you played this game for 100 hours now. If you want to buy something, you can do that, and it's like, yeah. So
like
it's
me, once you that's the thing. Yeah, it's free, but they know how we are. Okay, like I buy dumb shit in the game.
Well, if you like the game, it's not really a bad thing as long as you've
exactly.
played it.
and
As long as the game itself is good and has enough content on its own without
And I
forcing
don't-
you to buy stuff.
and I don't think they price gouge you for anything. Obviously, they don't. And I think a lot of these other free-to-play games could learn something from it. I mean, you could, and you do get random drops. Like so, in the when the game's over, you do have a chance to get armor and different things. Like an RPG, it'll drop. So, but yeah, I would say that kind of came out relatively recently. I'm playing that a lot. With one of the guys from our site, Stuntman, he was joking with me that one day he's like, "You're not playing it, you're living it," because pretty much every time I'm on here, I'm either playing, watching something about it, reading about it, something.
It's like
just-
an MMO without the subscription fee.
Yeah,
really.
yeah, and you can watch games. It's got that kind of community aspect to it. You can watch games in the client. So you don't have to watch. You can watch on Twitch TV, but you can also watch live games right there in
Nice.
the game, and it looks really good then too. It looks just like the game's playing.
That's pretty cool.
That's really cool, and they have the internationals coming up. If you don't know what that, I didn't watch it last time because I
It's
wasn't.
MLG stuff.
It's you can. It's really neat though. Once you start to know, I think it's better than most other competition type games, but.
All I know is there's Call of Duty, Counter-Strike.
Yep.
There's
StarCraft.
League of Legends and StarCraft, and that's about it.
Yep.
I know for.
Those are the big ones. So. But yeah, that was out too.
But actually, believe it or not, the Call of Duty scene's dying because
Yeah.
of the new expansion,
Okay.
the new games every year. It just people aren't getting. Like StarCraft 2 has been around how long?
I need the sheet on.
a long time.
2011 or 2010 maybe.
It's been around a while, and then I think 2011 or 10. But then, I mean, basically, it was just an update of.
Yeah.
And
It
that's
was
kind
the
of
same
what that
game,
too.
but just with more stuff that the veterans would have to sort of
I don't know if
get
you
used
guys,
to this new
I
stuff
just-
in
I
addition.
kind of knew this, I think, but this Dota 2 is in direct parity with Dota with the mod still. When they add a character to the mod, they add it to this at some point, which is really crazy because it's Valve making.
Yeah, but isn't it? Yeah, but the people who created the original, they are
Yes.
now working with Valve, so
Like,
it
his
isn't
name
sort
is
of.
Ice Frog is what people know him by.
Yep.
It's just got a crazy community kind of aspect to it that is
Very
really.
sour though if you're a new player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Here's the thing about that, though. I've actually rarely had people be. I mean, they are. Don't. It's still the internet, but actually, I've played a lot of League of Legends, and I think it's way worse. But it also has way more players too. So
It's okay when even if I play it and my carry's dying and I'm carrying the team as like a freaking healer or
Yep.
something, I'm gonna get mad.
you got to have thick skin. I think it's actually good for people to say, "Hey, oh well, I'm gonna." You might as well just expect you're gonna suck.
That's
until
like I don't know. I'm very competitive, especially when it comes to these very competitive
Oh, yeah.
games. Like Company
Yeah.
Heroes, I legit if I lose like 3 or 4 matches in a row, I legitimately will just not play the game for a week just because I'm so
Yeah.
pissed off I lost those matches.
This game kind of has that aspect to it too.
Oh yeah,
Yesterday, I just had-
I was in a gaming
impressive.
community a while ago, and it literally divided our gaming community to the point of where rivalries were formed amongst friends because of Dota. It was just so competitive that people would just like it was
it's ridiculous.
it was-
Fantastic.
it was
way.
like evilly
yeah.
amazing.
Oh, it's addicting too. That's it's once it clicks with you, you might as well tell everybody in your life goodbye because it is very addicting.
But anyways, let's move on, shall we? Let's talk about Steam cards.
Yeah.
I was saying earlier I had a problem. I had a set budget for my steaming this year, and I blew about, I don't know, I would say 1/10 of my budget just buying cards. And it is ingeniously evil how Valve can literally take nothing
Yeah.
and make it profitable.
Yeah.
And get away with it too without
Yeah.
people feeling sour about it.
Exactly.
That is
I mean,
pure magic.
The thing
Newell is a wizard.
I don't know if I would even feel sour about it. I don't really like it though either because it doesn't really serve a purpose other than I think as gamers we like to level up and collect things and
Yeah,
get stuff.
and especially now that you make the badges and it's like a badge of honor if it's a game you like, especially. Like I've made my badge for Metro Last Light and The Witcher 2. I made more, but those were like I want to make them because it would be cool to have badges for these two games because I love these games. But it's also like now you get XP when you make a badge as well, so you level up your Steam profile thing, and you can have like a little widget as your forum signature, and it shows your name and your level.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
then
like
you
a
can
little
like
sort-
show your favorite game, or like your favorite screenshot or something. Like that.
Yeah,
I think
and
there's some
w-
interesting things that they could do with it. It's just not done yet, honestly. Like they could do a lot more. Like because there's achievements and stuff. Now you got the cards, but even the achievements are just kind of like, it's just
They weren't like Microsoft's achievements. Like
Yeah.
I give Microsoft props for it because getting achievements in on Xbox Live was literally a competitive sport.
yeah. Well, you could. They were more out there, and here they're just kind of not.
They're just there.
yeah, they're often like, oh, you completed the first level, woohoo! There's
Yeah.
an achievement.
Yeah.
They were handed out at like candy.
So I think that's if they could. I don't see. I mean, hey, it's a difficult.
That kind of
problem.
comes to the developers anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of developers have like this. You completed this
Yeah.
and this, but other games have like, oh, kill a billion enemies or do a certain kind of move that actually is quite skillful. Complete a mission in less than so and so many minutes. So I don't know if it's all Steam's fault, sort of.
No. Well, I
but,
think they
I
could
mean-
really do something with it. Like, I mean, already you can get 50% off games and stuff like that. I think if they did more stuff like that, would be really cool. Give you, I mean, I know they can do it. It's not like they're losing out here, you know.
Yeah, but about the Steam cards, I mean, those were basically because if you look back to the previous sales, like summer sales and holiday sales, in the holiday sales, I don't know if it was this year. I think it wasn't that great this year. It was the year before, where they had the coal and stuff, where you could get like what was it? You mostly got coal, but then every now and then you would get like a so and so many % off on a game or something like that. And sometimes you would even get a game. I mean, I got the first sort of you what was it? You had to vote for the next community, vote the next which game would go on sale or something. And once
Yeah.
you voted so many times, you would
Got
get
some.
Yeah, and most of the time you would get cold, but the first time I actually got Portal 2, and I was like, wow, cool. Now I can give it to someone else because I already had it. But still, that's pretty cool to just get a free game.
Yeah.
And in the summer sales, they would have these sort of like tickets, and once you have so and so many tickets, the treasure hunt and stuff like that, you would get a hat in Team Fortress 2, and it was kind of like this event where you would do something and you kind of partake with the community. It was the same with before the launch of Portal 2 when people were collecting the potatoes everywhere. But now it's kind of just a sale, and they have the cards there, which is basically just to make more money. It doesn't feel like an event anymore. It just feels like a sale, and it kind of, I don't know, I'm not that excited. Of course, I'm excited about buying the games and saving money and stuff, but there's no real events anymore like there used to be. Like where you would get like I mentioned earlier before the podcast about Tokitori, where there would be like an achievement, a summer achievement for killing Floor or something like that, and you would buy the game because it would be on sale the same day as you needed to get the achievement, and if you then you would buy a game that's, it might have won a lot of rewards and gotten good review scores and stuff like that, but maybe it's not that popular and you don't want to really play it, but you want the achievement, so you end up buying it, and then suddenly, hey, this game isn't that bad, and you're kind of being tricked into playing good games. But now with the card, it's just, I'm just going to run it in the background and I'll get the card I need. So it's...
Well, just speaking of the badges and stuff, I just crafted my first badge for Dota 2 to see what it does.
Yep.
And I got a support badge thing, XP 100. I got a dragon background, emoticon, and I got a 50% off killing Floor. So, guess that's not bad.
and when you level up, you also get +5 space in your Steam friends list. I didn't even know there was a limit. At one point before I started deleting people, I had probably like 2, maybe even 300 friends, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know there was a limit. And now I have even more of I don't know, I don't need it, but sure, if that's something they want to make a reward, then fine by me. But I think it's pretty cool to get the backgrounds for your profile, especially since they're random, so you might try to get that one you really like, or of course you can just buy it in the marketplace for 10 cents, but still.
Yeah. It's an interesting direction to go in with the cards. I mean, at least they're trying stuff. I'd like just more to be done with it. Give us more rewards or something. And I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, I guess, too much. But right now it seems like it's a little empty. Just kind of just there.
Well, it has to start somewhere, I suppose.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I don't know what else to really talk about. It was mostly Steam Summer Sale, and it's really dead news-wise. I mean, the new consoles are coming up, so that's about it. August has Saints Row 4, the new Splinter Cell.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to. It's coming out a few days.
And then Payday is actually coming out on the same day. And
there's Shadowrun Returns comes out on the 25th.
Oh yeah. Suddenly, I thought that was way down the line.
Nope, it comes 2 days and 23 hours.
Yeah, I saw it when they announced it, and I was like, "What?" I thought it would be.
It looks pretty neat. I never played any of the other. Were there other games, right?
It's a whole universe. It's kind of like Warhammer, where it's not really rooted in computer games necessarily. There's novels and there's. Yeah, or role-playing games. Sort of like where you sit around a table and tell stories and stuff, and you have a book and a dungeon master and so on. That's I'm not really familiar about it, but that's
that's what I thought too. Yeah, it's that.
But there were games before that were basically RPGs. I think there were some text adventures maybe and stuff like that. This sort of it seems to base itself more on the whole universe than sort of any other game, a video game prior. It seems to just base itself on the art and the universe of the books or games or whatever before it. But it's looking pretty cool. I love this style. Yeah, I was part of the Kickstarter, so.
Oh, cool! Yeah, you're gonna be getting that. And even right now, it's 10% off. So I mean, it's $18. I think
it's on Steam?
Sounds pretty good. Yeah, it's on Steam. So you'll probably get a Steam key, I imagine, for that too.
Pay like $15 to get
I mean,
the
it
game.
looks it kind of reminds me kind of like XCOM, like you move around, kind of like, you know, you take your turn and your guy moves and you can attack and all that. It does look kind of neat. I might check that out eventually. I got way too many games to play.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's about it.
Speaking
Coming up.
of, well,
You got
I
anything else to add?
tried the Oculus Rift,
No, that's right.
Oh, that's yeah. Let's
which is
talk about it.
well, I don't know. Have you guys tried it, or know anyone who tried it, or?
Nope.
Oh, just
Yeah,
all
'cause-
off the interwebs.
Yeah, but you probably saw videos, so you
Yeah.
know
Yep.
pretty much as much as I do, except the experience of it. And I have the dev kit, so it's 1280 times 800. That's the resolution, so it's kind of low, and it's a little frustrating. I tried playing a bunch of games, some officially supported games, and some sort of just through a mod or something like that. I tried Team Fortress 2 and Half-Life 2; those are official, and then I tried Portal 2, and I tried I can't remember right now, but I tried a few other games. And including some of the sort of demos. You can try the roller coaster and stuff. And in Team Fortress 2, it was pretty cool because when I'm playing as the heavy, I always play as the heavy when I play the game because I'm a noob and I just like shooting things. So, but it's cool because you can, you look around and you look down and you see your fat belly and you see you holding the minigun. It's not like a regular game where you sort of look up and the minigun or the weapon follows you up. So that was pretty cool. And it's kind of like the Wii U or the Wii where the reticule is sort of independent from, it's not in the middle of the screen always. But it was really annoying because text, especially like chat boxes, is pretty much impossible to read because of the low resolution. So I can't wait to try a high resolution once it comes out of the market. But it was a cool experience. And Portal 2 was just partially supported, so it was like it worked. You could look up and down and stuff like that, but it wasn't like Team Fortress where the weapon was independent from where you looked. But what really?
Hold on one sec. I don't mean to interrupt, but I was just looking at the game releases. I just wanted to add the week of August 18th, we have the Bureau XCOM Declassified coming out on August 20th. We have Saints Row the 4 coming out on August 20th. We have Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Blacklist coming out on the 20th. And then a week after that, we have Payday 2, Castlevania Lord of Shadows Ultimate Edition. Then we have Lost Planet 3.
Good luck with that.
And then the week after that, it's Total War Rome 2.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, well, at least I can revel in the fact that I have become a gaming snob. So Splinter Cell and those games coming out, Saints Row 4, and I'm not really that interested in getting them immediately. But Rome 2 is something I must get.
Yeah, I probably will too.
But continue with your story. I wanted to throw that out.
Yeah, what really just absolutely blew my mind was Half-Life 2. I played it in 2004 and when it first came out, and before it came out, I used to, back then I didn't really have a internet connection. We had a modem, so I wasn't on the internet all the time. So I would get these gaming magazines, and it's like the game was supposed to come out in 2003, and you're looking at these pictures, and it's so cool. And when but then it was delayed, and finally when the game came out, I was kind of like, I had been so hyped for so long and gotten disappointed because of the delays and so on. So I was kind of it was a buzzkill for me. So when it came out, I was like, yeah, it's good, and I played it, but it was okay. Good game, but I wasn't as mind blown as I thought it would be. But now when I played it with the Rift, wow. It was like being in this world. It was crazy because, and it's kind of hard to explain it, but really, it just you're looking up and down, and you're in this world, and you're coming out of the train. You look at the screen and everything, and the guard knocks down the can from the garbage can, and it says pick up that can, and you're like, fuck, you're can, and you throw it at him, and he comes at you and punches you, and you're like, oh shit! And you try to cover your face. It's so immersive. And when you get your gun, the crowbar and your first gun, you can actually, if you lean your head to the right, you can actually line up the sight on the gun, so you can iron sight with the weapon, even though there is no such function in the game. And those spinning saw blade robot flying things, when they fly at you and you see the sparks fly, it feels like it's going into your face, and it's just extremely immersive, despite the low resolution. Yeah, and
the consumer version is going to be 1080p though.
Yeah. And
well, here's what I'm going to tell you. I've heard a lot from other sources, and now hearing somebody firsthand, I'm definitely gonna buy one.
Oh yeah,
there's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, it is.
And they're gonna be like relatively cheap, honestly. What the hell is the price?
Yeah, they said they were gonna be $300.
Oh, dude,
that's totally worth it.
A no-brainer.
It's cheaper than the next-gen consoles, and you're getting a next-gen experience.
Well, yeah, but it is just a peripheral. So, but yes,
still,
compared to the fact that it's virtual reality in your room and it works.
We've been waiting for this since the 80s, for Christ.
Yeah, we have. Back when we used to go to these arcades and they had these big machines, and they never really gave you what you thought you would
Back to the Future.
And then they're gonna have the peripheral where you can walk, and then they're gonna add a gun.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, that's getting bananas.
I don't know. It looks really cool. You want to lose weight? Just imagine walking through Skyrim with an M6.
And even that vest that you can get, where if you get shot, you get there's
a
reaction.
Yeah, it like punches you.
Yeah, that is. Oh man.
But yeah, I tried it. I got some of my friends to try it, and they were all mind blown. And if you check the videos from the Rift coaster, I think it's called, it's like you're going up this roller coaster, and when you go down, people are like, "Whoa!" And when you look at the video, you're like, "Come on, it can't be that." But when you're there, when you really are there and you're looking down, it is like you're
I've
not
heard of people
like,
almost getting sick.
Yeah, that's the other thing I'm gonna talk about. But yeah, you go down there and just like, it's like you just feel like your breath just, there's a vacuum in your stomach. You just whoa, and then you kind of like, oh wait, it's reality.
And imagine playing Amnesia.
Yeah.
Actually, we were talking about that, me and my friends, horror games in this when they're fully supported. Oh my. Yeah, especially with a headset. With a headset, you're so isolated from the world, because with a speaker, you're relatively immersed still. Yeah. But with a headset on, you're there. You're in the world. If something happens, something comes in your face, you're like, oh, Jesus.
Your body's going to react as if that is really happening in front of your face, real life.
Yeah, and actually, when we were doing the Rift coaster, when you put the headset on, if we were standing, we would lose our balance almost, and we would have some guys standing around us, and just so if in case we fell or something, because it was really like and it just yeah. But some of my friends kind of felt dizzy and were like almost sick, and I understand that. Some people have problems with low FOV and stuff like that. They can get motion sickness. I never really had a problem with motion sickness like that. I never got sick during flights or car drives or on ships or anything like that. But I had no problems. I didn't get sick at all, dizzy at all, but some of my friends did. So a lot of people, it's going to take a while for a lot of people to adjust, because it's just something completely new for your brain. Like when I was sitting down and I put the goggles on and I looked down on the keyboard and I was like, where are my hands? Because your brain, for a moment, you think like, I can't find my hands to put on my keyboard because I need to find the right keys, and your brain doesn't understand why he's looking down and he can't find his hands, but then you kind of snap back to reality, and it all comes down to how fast you're able to sort of come to terms with the fact that this is not real and stuff like that, and you keep fooling your brain all the time. So that might be a problem for a lot of people, and maybe some people won't be able to play with the Rift at all, really. Yeah.
Are they gonna have a return policy if like stuff like this does happen?
They might have
Because
to.
I know people are going to have this. It's not them. It's just the way their body is reacting to it.
I mean, it's a lot of. It is very similar to, 3D movies and even just movies
and it hurts your eyes and it's straining it.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I didn't like. First of all, I would love to see a wireless version of it come out someday, but I understand that might be hard to do because
that's a lot of
it is video
data.
and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, you have wireless TVs now, so it should be possible.
Someday.
But the cable is a little bulky and it doesn't. You don't really. It's not really that bad, but it's never like you suddenly just forget that you have your Rift set on.
The other thing I heard, I don't know, I can't think of the exact details on it, but I know it's the final version is going to be 1080p, but it's split into two, so it's still not even going to be full
half
1080. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
No. It's
Right?
It's going to be 1080. It's just divided in half.
Okay.
Yeah,
because it does 3D,
And
right?
then it's because if you put a 1080p screen right in front of you, your eyes wouldn't be able to adjust to it.
Yeah.
So it's
So it's got the
divided in
two.
half because if you see the gameplay videos, it's two
Yeah.
screens.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I mean.
And
So okay.
it's
it'll
altogether
still
it's 1080p, but
it'll still be that.
those little screens, they're just half 1080p to equal 1080p total.
Well, I don't know if it's 1080p because the one I have, the dev kit, isn't 720. It's 800, so it might be 1200 or something like that.
Yeah,
because
that's
it
what
is
I'm saying.
wider than a monitor
Okay.
is.
But
It's still yes, that's the way the 1280 times 800 is also divided into two eyes because you have two monitors in there, that you look at.
I did hear that some people were complaining about, like, they were saying that since the screen is so close to your face, there's like this screen effect, like a sliding door screen.
Yes.
Where it looks like you're looking out, like a screen to the outside world, and you see these little square boxes because the pixels are right in your face, and you can't really move them.
Yeah, it feels like a CRT screen. Like if you would look really close at a CRT screen, you would see like these little cells, and that's how it feels like with this one too. It's like, especially when you're looking into, like, before you start the game up, you feel like you're looking really close into an old non-LCD TV set, and it's a little. I don't know how the new one is going to be like, but it was a little weird, or at least in the beginning. But you kind of get used to it. But it's just you're really close to this thing, so I'm kind of. Is this really good for your eyes?
Yeah,
like if you're gonna sit there and play Skyrim for 100 hours with this thing right in your eyes,
it's gonna
you're gonna be narrow-sighted within like a few hours.
Yeah,
nearsighted, not
that's one
narrow-sighted.
thing I'm definitely worried about is consumer problems with just because, like, you look at your monitor and you can move your head forward, move it back, adjust it.
Yeah.
Like, you can take your eyes off your monitor if they start to hurt and readjust it, because I know there's like gamer eye syndrome where your eye starts twitching because you're playing.
I have that, I think.
I've never really had it hardcore, but I have woken up with like bloodshotted eyes because I'm playing way too much Civilization really late at night when I should be sleeping. But I just don't know, like, it sounds so cool. I just don't know the health issues that are gonna come because of this. And
It might be a problem, yeah, but I don't know if it's kind of too early to say, but right now it's just, even as a gimmick, even as just something you put on for a few hours and you try a horror game, it's just absolutely, it's something you really must try. It's kind of like the Nintendo 3DS, where people were like, wow, it really works, but it's on a PC, so you don't need to wait for a good game to come, because there will be games, and even if there aren't games, there's going to be mods. I mean, there is a mod. I didn't try Mirror's Edge, and I should have But that would be cool to try, and that's not official support, of course. But just think about something like Mirror's Edge 2 getting official support, or even just in a mod.
Even, you said Portal 2. I mean, can you imagine you know how you can like go through 2 portals and just make yourself go fast as hell? That would be.
Yeah, and I did that.
Freaky.
Yeah, and I did that, and it because it works pretty well. It is. You can look up and down. It's just that, like, your weapon is still sort of glued to the bottom right of your screen and stuff like that. But it worked pretty well, and it was pretty cool to, like... And the thing about, like, with Half-Life 2 as well, when you sit there, it's not like it is really just a cutaway of the screen, and when you look, you can look so far to the left and right, like with the track IR and stuff like that. It really is... Like, if I sat and played Half-Life 2... like when I was doing one of those chase scenes, like with the boat in the sewer canals and stuff, and there was this helicopter-like thing chasing me. I was driving forward, and I looked literally with my head backwards, all the way back and up, and I could see this thing firing missiles and shit at me. And I was like, "Oh shit!" And I turned back forward again, and I kept driving. And it, like, literally, when you turn back, you see backwards, and you can turn all the way up and look directly up or directly down, you know, in any direction. It does bring some challenges with how you move, because when you're walking, especially in Half-Life 2, it was like when you're walking, you press W, walk forward. If you look to the left, you press W, you would walk in that direction. So suddenly you're walking, you're holding out W, but you're sitting with your head tilted to the left. So you have to sort of use your mouse to drag your view back into position again, and then get your head right in position again, and then you can play again. And that takes some getting used to. But just the fact that you can sort of look around, you look backwards with your head, and you look backwards in the game, and you can see everything is the way it works is really realistic. It's pretty cool. I took some screenshots of, like, when I lined up the pistol to see the cross the iron sight and stuff like that. So if you, of course, it's like split into 2 screens, but if you guys want to see some of those,
that's cool.
You can just check my Steam profile. But yeah, I really loved it, and it was like being in 2004 again, and only being on some sort of hallucinogenic drug or something, because it was an absolutely awesome experience. So yeah, once you get a chance to get, especially a full HD set, you must get it, or convince someone else to get it so you can try it or something.
Yeah, I mean,
it really sounds, a completely new experience.
Sounds like a very possible, like, revolution in gaming to me. It depends on how it goes. So
yeah, the only thing that could hinder it is if it suddenly turns out that people who played for 100 hours are nearsighted for the rest of their lives or something like that.
Yeah.
Brain cancer or something.
Yeah. Or neck problems, because it's not heavy, but the strap doesn't really, and the sort of one of the straps that goes around your head on the side kind of goes over your ears. So if you use a headset, you have to kind of press the strap a little up, and then the goggles end up hanging a little down, and it's a little finicky. It's not perfect. It's not like you will forget that the goggles are on. So I hope they work with that too.
Yeah, that sounds cool to me.
All right. Is there anything else you guys want to add?
Nope.
Yes, that the Metro Last Light, the new DLC, that library mission is scary as flying shit. It's I hate it.
I haven't played it yet.
It's horribly scary. Oh, it's so. I have the headset on. I played it in the dark, and it's so scary. You hear the howls of these monsters, and you know that you have limited ammunition and gas mask filters, and you have to go out there, try to get more stuff to come back and sell it so you can get better gear and more gas mask filters. And these monsters are constantly coming at you, and it's just, I don't know, it's much more scary than the main game. And I think it's because you know that if you fuck up, if you don't get that stuff, then you will run out of gas mask filters. You won't be able to find any on the surface. You have to buy them. That's the only way, and that is really scary.
Yeah, it sounds
cool. Yeah, if you like Metro, then that mission is definitely worth checking out. The 2 other missions are pretty much mediocre in comparison, I think. Especially the Reich mission, where you're the heavy. It's a terrible mission. Not only does it have bugs, but it's just you're standing there and shooting at guys. That's all. But that's all. That's all I have to say.
Cool.
All right. Well, we're the Pixel Judge podcast people, and we like PC gaming some days and Steam summer sales. But anyways, we'll talk to you guys later. And this is Cat Attack.
This is Mark.
And this is Mr. Jensen.
And we will see you guys next time.